Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited today to be sitting down and introducing you to Jini Wimmer. She is a publishing partner for The Power Within. She is also the leader of the Women's Empowerment Network, and I'm so excited for you to get to meet her today. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Nicolette. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for being here. So, share a little bit about you and kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, as you said, I'm the creator and founder of the Women's Empower Network and also have a collection called The Pearls of Wisdom by Jini. I've been a coach since like 2005. I had retired for 10 years. And then almost 5 years now, I became a widow and realized that I needed to do something. And I saw my husband die with his dream still in him, which caused me to think of my immortality and what would I regret at the end of my life. And I knew that there were still a lot of messages in me to come out, which led me to starting the Women's Empower Network. And about 3 weeks in, it just hit me that, oh my gosh, this is just so much bigger than me. It's not just about me, and it's about women supporting women and this whole new culture, this whole new level of consciousness about women giving up their old stories and coming into the light, to the wholeness, to the fullness of who they already are, but have their light has been dimmed by maybe their culture or society or their family or people around them. And so this group has just become so much more than I could have ever imagined. So I am thrilled to be on this journey with women from all over the world. And we're talking Pakistan and Egypt and Australia, Canada, UK. I mean, all over the world. We've there's this collective consciousness, and it's time for us to rise up and own our brilliance.
Absolutely. And that just sums it up, I just have to say, because I've been working with Jenny for a while now, and she's you're so much more than that. And that's a lot. And there's so much to your journey and kind of the things that have brought you to this point. So I'm just excited to have get an opportunity for people to get to know you a bit. So several months ago, you and I partnered to bring the power within to life. And so tell me a little bit about what made you what was the initial vision for the book, The Power Within, Finding Strength, Voice, and Vision? What was your kind of what sparked that vision and kind of how did that come to be?
Well, it was interesting, and we've talked about this many times. 8 months before I even knew you existed, somebody had planted the seed about a multi-author book, and it was like instantaneous. It was immediate. It's like, oh my God, that just so makes sense.
Mm,
Because I mean, I spent most of my career being a solopreneur,
mm,
but in this collaboration, and you have 15 authors, we're 15 times more powerful than we are for each individual person. And it just resonated with me immediately. And and then it became the journey of finding the right publisher to work with that had the same heart and soul and vision that I did this, because to me it is so much more than one and done. It is a big step to be published and to be a best-selling author, but this is just the beginning.
absolutely. And so we came together several months ago, and immediately I think we both were like, yes, this is a line collaboration, and I'm excited to get into how we're supporting the authors here in a minute because I feel like the author support has been so elevated with us working together on this project. You have your role, you are anchored in it, I'm holding my space. And together, we're just really creating this incredible author opportunity for women to share their story, to share their voice. And then also, not only in the book, but other visibility opportunities. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So, the book is The Power Within, Finding Strength, Voice, and Vision. What does the power within mean to you personally?
Well, for me personally, it's the power's already always been there. It's just it's been cloaked
Mm,
with self-doubt, self-flagellation, societal's so-called norms.
mhm,
Um, and it just for me, it's I don't know, it just feels very, very potent that now is the time to call BS on yourself, your belief systems, and all the stories that you've been fed, and own the light,
mm.
the power, the intuition, the knowingness that's really already there. It's always been there, and just removing the excuses and the limitations that we put on ourselves to be seen and heard and valued.
Absolutely. I think so many women, especially, are waking up to this. That, and we were actually just talking about this a little bit, is just being okay, just being and not doing, which kind of gets to the heart of it. We have what we need inside of us. And when we pause long enough to connect with it, and a lot of times the journey can be messy. Sometimes we have to. Move through the mud to find that light, but there's always a story. There's always that transit, that point where we recognize it, or the moment where we didn't know we could go on and then we did. And those are the stories that basically reach through the book and let someone else know they're not alone, that they have camaraderie and companionship on this journey, that they are enough. And so those are the kinds of stories that we're really hoping to weave in. And I'm excited to be bringing those into the book. So, who do you envision this book making a ripple? Or, sorry, how do you envision this book making a ripple in the lives of the readers?
You know, there's so many of us in the past that suffer quietly and suffer alone. We put on a brave face, we put on a pretty face to go to work or to school, or to be around our families when we're really hurting inside. And this new time in history is collaboration and women supporting women. We're not, we I came from a generation that if I wanted to go to work, it was a man's world. I needed to play the man's game. And it was all about us and them and
Mhm.
competition and separation and who's the best and who is right and wrong, all of those things. And it never really sat right with me. It never sat well. And I think we're finally getting to a place where we're really willing to own our feminine energy, and not like feminine as a woman and masculine as a man, but the qualities of feminine energy that's inclusive, that's loving, that's supporting, that doesn't believe in lack. Lack is a man made concept, it doesn't exist. You
Mm,
know, the external world and the masculine world, they make it appear as if it is the haves and the haves not. But in the feminine energy and the feminine quality, there isn't. And
mm,
so this is a time where I hope that each of the 15 women in this book and each of their stories and their different journey can give you hope
mm,
and courage to realize that, if they can do it, I can do it. If they've been through that, I can get through what I'm going to get through. And even if you're at the tail end of it, if you're overcome something, but life still isn't quite working, then you might want to read my chapter. It's called The Other Side of Burnt Toast.
mm. Yes, absolutely. And I think even if you are in a place where you're like, you know what, things are clicking, this is great, things are moving, it's great to hear other women who have moved through it too. I think there's so much energy and really kind of locking arms and saying we're in this together. And I think the incredible part about when we show up and share our stories is we realize how much we have in common, how much a lot of the things, a lot of the challenges or the successes are, you know, kind of there's a thread that weaves it all together. So I think that's incredibly powerful. And I just have to say the wonderful thing about a multi-author book is oftentimes you're going to connect deeply to one or two of those stories, even more maybe than some of the other ones. And you're going to see yourself in it. You're going to see hope in it. You're going to be intrigued by their story. So there's so much wisdom and truth and understanding that's available for the readers. I'm so excited to get to the point where we're sharing. So, how do you see this book supporting the authors?
Well, that's the exciting part for me. And that's what I feel makes this one a little bit different, if not a lot different than the others, is, we've hired a social media strategist. So it's my dream. It's like we have something, I call it coffee chat.
Mhm.
So it's not just you work with my publisher and you get your chapter done and you get published. I'm really involved with each author and getting to know that person, what their dreams and hopes and desires are. And if they so choose, I want to help them become a leader within the Women's Empower Network, not just, you know, yay, you got your book published, have a nice life. I mean, I plan to spend the next 6 to 12 months with these women, um, really helping them achieve whatever vision they have. Some want to be speakers, some want to get more clients. Everybody's unique and different. And so,
Yeah.
that's to me what makes the difference. And then, like, we're having 3 roundtables where we're really talking about the heart at of what all women deal with,
Mm.
with integrity, with worthiness, with intuition,
Mm.
and have discussion and roundtables about those topics.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really setting this book apart from other books that I've either produced alone or even collaborated on is the partnership that you and I have created. Because I know every week we get together and we're talking about the book and we're talking about the project. And almost, I think every week I have to remind you, like, okay, now how are we positioning you in this? Because your heart is just so your vision is so focused on the authors and supporting them that it's really inspiring for me to see your devotion and the way you're showing up and just your vision and holding this vision and like I know this can be as good as it can be and so it's so inspiring and so I think that the visibility opportunities that you're providing in addition to the opportunities of being published in the book are like beyond what I've seen in other multi-author books. So there's so many layers of this for visibility. And when someone is like, yeah, I'm really ready to share my story, to get more visible with it, to lock arms with incredible women who are also on this journey, that this book is a container to like create all those opportunities. So that's what's really great. So, um, you've kind of, let's see, some of the questions already got answered. So, um, what would you say to someone who feels called to share their story but isn't sure if they're ready?
That's very serendipitous. I was just thinking that.
Oh.
I was absolutely, because really we have writers at all different levels.
Mhm.
Some who, this is like, we have one author who's been in 7 or 8 other multi-authored books, and she just felt called to be in this one too. We have others that this is their very first time, but they know what they want to write about. And
Yeah.
then we even have some people that feel called to it, but they're not very clear about their message. And so that's another layer that we've added in,
Mhm.
is included in the package, is a ghostwriter.
Mm.
So if you've never written and you want to tell your story, you want to, but you don't have a clue how to do it, between Nicolette and Terry, our ghostwriter, we have you covered.
Yeah.
And we're going to hold your hand through the whole process. We're not going to just, oh, you sign up and then you're on your own. We are there every step of the way. Whatever level of support you need,
Mhm.
we're there for you.
Absolutely. I think that's, I know I kind of alluded to it earlier, but that is the thing that is setting this project apart is the author support available every step of the way. Jenny passes them to me. I walk them through an onboarding. We get all of them in all the places, the authors in all the places they need to be. There's open communication, open opportunities between the ghostwriter and the marketing consultant and me and Jenny. Like you're really getting such an incredible package of support. And so if you've been in a multi-author book and it wasn't quite as the level of support you had hoped for, or B, you're maybe in a place where you want to share your story, but you're not sure. Like this book is really an incubator for creating the opportunity that you need because there's so many layers of support. So that's definitely available to you. So what do you wish more women knew about their inner strength and the power of their lived experience?
We are, you know, as Marianne Williamson said, it's not our fear that scares us, it's our light.
Mm,
We are so much more powerful and than we could ever imagine. And
mm,
just learning to say yes to you or
mm,
feel the fear and do it anyway, um, you'll be amazed how it's almost like smoke and mirrors. You
mm,
know, as soon as you challenge that fear or that self doubt, you say yes to yourself. It's amazing what opens up for you.
yeah.
Um, at this stage of my journey, I mean, I had my own fears about being seen and coming on camera and, you know, concerned about judgment. And I am so far beyond that. It's like stepping into a slipstream.
Hmm.
And it just kind of, you know, when you connect to that intuition, that inner knowing that you have, and you learn to listen to it, it just kind of keeps pulling you forward. And then to have a safe community, a tribe
Yeah.
to grow in and to be with that's non-judgmental and that judgmental and that we're all at different stages of evolution because you never get it done, you never get it finished.
Yeah.
So it's just an ongoing journey, and to be on a journey with loving supportive women, um, life is so much sweeter, so
Yeah.
much sweeter.
It's incredible. I think my answer to that question, what do I wish more women knew about their inner strength and power of their lived experience is it is a portal, not only for you, but for other people. So when you tap back into your experiences and your lived experiences, reflect on it, there is so much clarity that comes through and understanding and appreciation for who you are and what you're capable of. You just you when we really deep dip into our lived experiences and give it the reverence that I think it deserves, but a lot of times doesn't receive, there is this portal that we walk into of empowerment. But it's not only our empowerment, it's shared empowerment because we're showing other people that what they're moving through right now is going to be their story. It's going to be their triumph. It's going to be their, dark night of the soul that they come through. Like there is sharing our stories is the most powerful thing we can do, not only for ourselves but for other people. So that's what I wish everyone would know about it. So I just want to share my insights on that. So let's talk about we already talked a little bit about how we're supporting authors, what kind of guidance and mentorship they can expect inside the journey. I'm going to share a minute because one of the things that we do is every author who signs up receives a brief, and I'm going to do a quick screen share and share how um, we are supporting. Oops, is that coming through? Oops. Oh, oh, okay. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So, so every author who comes on, we provide this brief about the book and how we're supporting them, a little bit about us. And then Everything that they kind of need is here. We have the project timeline, which just breaks down all the details, everything they're going to need. We have all the contact information so people know how to contact us, when they're going to be able to get support, the different author packages so they know and they can remember, oh, what is it that I signed up for here? What's my commitment? And what can I expect to receive? And we're going to talk a little bit about tier three in a minute because there is a we have a discount that we're offering right now for that offer. So the Author Success Lab, which this is really on-demand support, everything from writing your bio to your chapter, getting unstuck, just ways kind of when you are in one of those moments where it's like, okay, I want to write my chapter, you can log in at any time and have the support and training available. We have weekly live training opportunities, writing circles, publishing power hour once a month. And this is in addition to the ghostwriter that you mentioned, and available to people who sign up for tier three, as well as the marketing consultant and our networking calls, the roundtables. Like there's so many levels of support in this. And so I just kind of wanted to walk people through this because I think one of the things that I've heard is sometimes multi-author books don't feel super supported, or there's a layer of kind of like, I'm not sure what I'm meant to be doing here, and we are keeping you informed, we're keeping you up to date, we're keeping you engaged. And there's so many opportunities. Like I just think that that's one of the things that I'm really proud of that we're creating together.
And in addition to all that, I've created a Power Within private author Facebook group where I just check in once a week, check in, see how is everybody doing, what's coming up. I have a link called Coffee Chat. You don't even have to have a reason because I really, really like to get to know each and every one of my authors and how I can support you and who you are in a person and what is your life about. So that's available to everybody too at any time to
Yeah.
just reach out. It doesn't have to be related to the book whatsoever.
Mm.
So I want it to be a very collaborative, a very supportive experience
Yeah,
for everyone.
and I love it because for a long time, kind of my unspoken business model is I want to do business not as usual. And I think really meeting people personally, especially in these kinds of projects where we are we are female entrepreneurs, we are mothers, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are wives, we are sometimes working, we are building a business. Like we have so many dynamics of who we are, and none of that gets left out in this process. You get to bring your whole self here, and we'll support you however we'll meet you where you are and support you in the way that is going to be most nurturing to you. So I think it's it's more than a book. It's more than a visibility opportunity. It really is a place where you can come and explore your creative expression, explore your story, be supported while you do it. Um, Clear out your cobwebs so that you're speaking more, and having more visibility, and let us support you through it. It's so crazy. It's like, wow, you can have all of this, and it doesn't have to feel hard, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, what a concept, and it could be fun.
Yes, it can be fun. Absolutely. So for those who are interested in potentially in the full experience, we are offering 30% off of tier three until the end of July. Can you speak a little bit to why tier three is such a powerful investment in both your voice and your visibility?
Well, it's a full package. It includes everything that we've been talking about. Like tier one is, yeah, you can get your chapter in the book and have a nice life, if you want to be a published author.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to tier three, it becomes a no-brainer. And it's only $100 more than tier one with the 30% discount.
Mm-hmm.
We're offering uh, free fee payment options, two, three payments if you need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there, like I said, it's so much more than it's not just a one and done.
Yeah.
It's I'm, if you want to become a leader and have a safe place to step into that role and explore that role, the Women's Empower Network is a great place to do that. Where you can learn to show up and speak. You can learn to do free events that can be an upsell to whatever your paid product is. It can be developed. A lot of us, like you were saying earlier, it's like, so what about your chapter, Jenny? And I was like, oh, hmm, I hadn't thought about that,
Uh, yeah, I always like to like shine the light back on you and like, okay, how are we supporting you today? Because you are giving and giving and giving. And so it's just important to me that you remember that, oh yeah, that's right. I'm building something here too. So I think with the 30% discount, it's obviously a no-brainer to join in at tier three. There's increased visibility opportunities. There is so many different layers of support and opportunities. So I will link, I'll definitely include the link with the details of all the tiers. If anyone is watching and is curious and is like, maybe I want to, I'm not sure, what would be their next step?
well, they would click on the link below that will take them to our funnel, the flyer that we created, and read through it. And then within there, there's a button. And you would click that button, it'll take you to a very short application and a couple of questions about if you can afford the payments, if, will you be committed to supporting, doing your part of writing your chapter, but also being support to each other.
Mhm.
And then after you submit that, then you'll be taken to my calendar for the very first no obligation call. If you're just curious, you have questions, there's things you're not clear about, that's what that call is for.
Yeah, so click the link, check out the details, find Jenny's calendar link, and schedule a call. And the cool thing is, even if you do a call and realize, oh, maybe this isn't the right time or it doesn't feel in alignment, Jenny has the Women's Empowerment Network, which is it's a pretty large group. It's how many members do you have now in that group?
We just broke 7,800 members.
7,800 strong. She does weekly interviews and opportunities for visibility in addition to this book. So connect with Jenny because the ways that you could potentially work together is there's some different ways to connect and work together and for sure you're going to walk away feeling some clarity about whether the project's right for you. I think that's one of the other really cool things about Jenny is she's not just this is an interview. She wants to make sure that the right authors are coming in. She wants to make sure that you're prepared, that you're ready to show up in integrity and meet the project because it really holds the thread of the whole thing is when everyone can show up. And so if she feels like you're not ready, she will gently decline you because she doesn't want to be in a misaligned energy. So just know that. And I just think that's, in a world of sales and people just, I think that says a lot about you. So do a call. You'll love her. You'll learn a little bit, and maybe this will be the perfect opportunity. And you'll say, "Where do I sign up?" And so we're calling in the final five authors, right? We have five more authors that we're bringing in potentially. I know
Yes.
there's a
Mhm.
few that we're still, this is a moving target. So we're looking for the final contributors for this book. And the women who have signed up and said yes so far are inspiring. And there's this really great tether and connection of women that we all are like, yeah, you see it, I see it. We're growing, we're shining, we're, building together. And so definitely consider this opportunity if writing in a multi-author book has been kind of something that's been like, that might be interesting. Check out this opportunity. If you've never heard of a multi-author book, but you're like, wait a minute, I just have to write one chapter and join with 15 other women who are going to help me promote it and market it and publish it. Um, check it out if that's something that's interesting to you. And if you know someone who just has like a really great story and you're like, you need to share it, that person that you're always telling you need to write a book, make sure to forward this to them because that might be the invitation that they've been waiting for. So that's all I have for today. Do you have anything else, Jenny, that you want to add?
No, you said that too. You never know who this might resonate with. So I invite you, if you wouldn't mind sharing it, um, because you never know who that maybe you weren't aware that they've, secretly have been dreaming about writing. And to be able to write, like you said, one chapter versus a whole book, um, it's
Yeah.
a great way to get your feet wet. It's a great way to get clarity on what your message is. And it's a whole lot cheaper. And then the other little extra caveat that I don't know how I'll be doing this next year is you get 20 free books to hand out to your friend that I am going to absorb the cost,
Yes,
um,
you do. You
so
walk away
that you can
with
share.
20 paperback books of The Power Within, uh, and additional opportunities to buy it wholesale. But that is a super generous offer. And I think there's something to be said for being the first group because I think one of the things is we're partnering together. This isn't my first book, but this is your first book, and this is our first book together. And so we're, working out the details and we're over delivering because we want this to be such a good experience that we are like showing up with such big heart and openness. And sometimes, it's always it might get smoother, but sometimes some of those like high touch opportunities kind of disintegrate a little bit. You get a little less of that the next round. So if this is calling to you, if the power within, if you're like, oh yeah, that resonates. If you are building a business, looking for visibility, if you are looking for a connected network of women of like-minded and hearted nature that are also doing that, then this could be a great opportunity. So that's all for
And
us. Unless you have something else, Jenny.
yeah, there was one thing that really didn't get, I don't feel got clearly said. Nicolette does an amazing job on how to use the book to market yourself. So it's not just about publishing and being published, but taking it to the next step. And we have several women in the group who are developing courses or creating websites for the first time,
Mhm.
um, after learning how to use the book to market. So there's another piece too that's in the training.
Yeah, that's always been a part of my kind of offer is it's important to me because so many of the authors are entrepreneurs typically or have some kind of level of business that there's a clear path for how is this investment going to grow my business, my audience, my network. And so we tap into all of those things. It's in a very authentically curated way because really that's the heart of what we're doing here. So we're gonna meet you where you're at, wherever you're at, and kind of say, okay, what's the next step? How can we build on that? There's so many elements of this project, and I know that people might be like, "What? How do you offer all that?" We just do. And we do it with love because we are having so much fun. So if you're curious at all, click the link, schedule a call with Jenny, see if this is a good opportunity. If someone's popping into your mind right now as you're watching this, please send this to them because there's a reason, likely that they're coming into your perspective. And if anything else, just get ready for the release. It's going to be coming out in the end of October, beginning of November. So if you're just like, I'm not going to be writing, but I want to read it, we'll be sharing more and more about that. And so that's all for us today. And we're excited to be welcoming the final authors.
Thank you, Nicolette. Thank you. This is just such a fun
It is fun.
journey, and it's
It has
so
been fun.
fulfilling.
It is. It's
It
really
is. It's like it's nothing I've ever done before, and I'm in awe at how much fulfillment it's giving me. So I can't even imagine what it's doing for everyone else, even for the readers after it's published.
Yeah, there's just so much good energy in this. And I think, when you get that kind of collaborative partner that just works well, when you just find that match, there's magic that happens that is
Yeah.
unsaid, and unseen sometimes, that is just kind of infused. And I think that's something that our dynamic has definitely created. So it's such a good opportunity. Come and get to know us, come and write with us, come learn, come build, and get visible, and we'll be with you every step of the way. So that's all for us. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you, Nicolette.